Good afternoon, good people, or wherever you are at, locally, globally, internationally. I just want to say hello to you. I hope everyone is doing well today. I am finally caught up, and I am so proud of myself for the accomplishments that I've done because I have a full-time job, then, I have a full-time life and just running a full-time business. And so it can be exhausting, it can be overwhelming, it can be challenging, it can have anxiety, I can get anxious. A lot of things can go on. I can get skeptical, I can be doubtful, but guess what? I am here through all of those emotions. So let me officially welcome you to the Aisha Speaks Jade podcast, where I am your host, Aisha, also known as Jade. Most people call me Jade unless you're family like that. And today's live show is on calling the cops on someone with mental illness can go terribly wrong. Here's a better idea. Again, it's calling the cops on someone with mental illness can go terribly wrong. Here's a better idea. And so, with that being said, July is Minority Mental Health Awareness Month. And I'm hoping to definitely get some more conversations about mental awareness. Hopefully, I can even get someone live to come on and speak. I have had a couple of people come in and speak, as well as myself. But I want to see if I can find someone that's open and willing to come and speak. If not, I am still going to, have some topics on Minority Mental Health Awareness Month, because it's important, not just for the month, but 365 days out of the year, mental health continues in quite a bit of people. Okay, so again, welcome to my Aisha Speaks Jade podcast. I am your host, Aisha, also known as Jade. So, what if we sent mental health experts instead of police? So, I know for the state of Georgia that we have a thing called CIT, which means crisis intervention training, where police officers get trained. They're supposed to, well, they do get trained, but whether they use it or not is another story. But so police officers get trained, crisis intervention. They get trained on how to handle and deal with individuals that are clinically diagnosed with a mental illness. So that could be depression, bipolar, schizoaffective, schizophrenia, anxiety. It could be a plethora of things. Okay. And again, they're supposed to know how to put that training to use and deal with individuals with a mental illness, diagnosed with a mental illness. So, should we send police officers out to deal with individuals with mental illness or mental disorder, or should we send out mental health experts? That is the question. So we've seen it happen too many times, way too many times. And if you listen to the Chit Chat Chew show, LLC, I just came back and had started doing podcasting like right before I did this. And it was speaking on some of the individuals that had got killed and transitioned. Some of them had mental illness, and how the police officers handled that was horrific. So should we have police officers come out and deal with individuals, again, with mental illness, or should we have mental health experts? So again, we've seen it happen way too many times. A person calls 911 to report a disturbance next door or out in the street. The police show up. Things go left, and the police shoot the person at the center of the disturbance. No questions asked, they just kill them. multiple times, one time too many. And it turns out that the person had a mental health issue. So according to the Treatment Advocacy Center, which is a Virginia-based nonprofit working to improve access to mental health treatment, at least 1 in 4 people killed by the police in the U.S. has a serious mental health problem. Stories of these police killings have been in the headlines over the past few months. Well, actually, they've been in the headlines for a very long time, past few years, starting back, I'll say as early as 2012, maybe 2013, definitely by 2014, with anguished family members decrying officers' violence towards their loved ones. And that's not to say that maybe they may have done something wrong, but it's how you deal with them. And how you deal with them is not shoot them in the head, in the back, shoot them several times, think that they have a gun and kill them, or if they have some type of weapon, just automatically kill them, knock them off, okay? And also, if they're homeless, don't stigmatize, okay, because people do it. You're stigmatizing automatically, oh, homeless gay person, or oh, homeless straight person, either way, with a diagnosis or without a diagnosis. You're already then labeled and stigmatized them. And what do you feel that they should just be? Let's just kill them off, you know, write them off. The world don't need them. So there's got to be a better way to handle 911 calls. I definitely agree. Some people say there is. Instead of sending police to deal with non-criminal emergencies, why not send mental health experts? Could be something to think about. Oakland, California, last week became the newest city to explore this approach, which has already been tried to good effect in Oregon and further afield in Sweden. So we're taking it internationally as well. The new Oakland budget allocates $40,000 for a study on how best to implement the Oregon model there. It'll investigate questions like, what's the best way to complement existing mental health services without competing against them? Where in Oakland do most 911 calls related to mental illness originate? In which neighborhoods does it make most sense to concentrate a pilot program? The goal is to launch a pilot next year, and although supporters are not yet sure what its size and duration and cost will be, they're hopeful it'll make a big difference to the city's over-policed community of people without homes. They were among those who first called for a non-policy approach or non-policing approach. That's what it says. Again, they were among those who first called for a non-policing approach. Other cities from Portland to New York are keeping a close eye on what happens in Oakland because they're also interested in potentially implementing this approach. If the model takes off nationwide, it could be an effective way to reduce needless suffering for millions of Americans who have mental illness. The non-policing approach has been tried elsewhere and it works. So in 2015, Stockholm started test driving an ambulance devoted entirely to mental health care. I'm sorry, I'm trying to make sure I'm speaking correctly, but forgive me if I'm not. Charge it to my head. It looks like a regular ambulance on the outside, but instead of stretchers, it's got cozy seats. Perfect for a therapy session on wheels. How cool is that? Having an ambulance that is mobile, that doesn't look like a typical ambulance, but something more cozier, something possibly to bring down, especially if a person has a mental illness, they won't have such high anxiety. They'll start coming down. So it's perfect for a therapy session on wheels. 2 mental health nurses, and 1 paramedic travel on board. Most of the emergency cases they handle involve people at risk of suicide. Sometimes they involve people having a psychotic episode. Okay, so again, sometimes it does involve people having a psychotic episode. The idea is that making these experts available boosts the quality of care, avoids needless escalation by law enforcement, and minimizes the stigma attached to people with mental illness. Yes, I live with a mental disorder, okay? So look at this. You don't see me as the typical individual who has mental illness because I work through it on a daily basis. And I promise you that it is daily. There, just like anybody else, I have my good days, I have my bad days. It used to be the police who handled these kinds of calls. So Agent Borndatter, who works as a mental health nurse aboard the ambulance, spoke of, and I quote, "But just the presence of the police can easily cause a patient to feel like they've done something wrong." And most people don't trust the cops. Let's just be honest, because of everything that's going on in today's society. Mental illness is nothing criminal, so it doesn't make sense to be picked up by the police. So during the first year, the ambulance was requested 1,580 times and attended to 1,254 cases. That means the single vehicle was tasked with zipping all around Sweden to handle 3.4 cases per day. It has been considered a huge success by police, nurses, healthcare officials, as well as by the patient. In Eugene, Oregon, the group handling such calls is called CAHOOTS. CAHOOTS. And CAHOOTS stand for Crisis Assistance Helping Out on the Street. CAHOOTS stands for Crisis Assistance Helping Out on the Street. So this is a nonprofit that was founded by social activists back in 1989, but it's been garnering more attention in recent years as the police sometimes violent and even lethal treatment of people with mental illness has sparked a public outcry. CAHOOT handles non-criminal crises involving people who are homeless, disoriented, intoxicated, mentally ill or mental disorder, or enmeshed in an escalating dispute. So here's how the Wall Street Journal explained their work. The program in Eugene is unique because CAHOOTS is wired into the 911 system and responds to most calls without police. The name CAHOOT was intended to be a humorous nod to the fact that they are working closely with police. CAHOOTS now has 39 employees and costs the city around $800,000 a year, plus its vehicles, a fraction of the police department's $58 million annual budget. They are also paid to handle calls from neighboring Springfield. So it allows police officers to deal with crime, but it also allows us to offer a different service that is really needed. As to police officers, who typically seek to project authority at all times. CAHOOTS employees dress in black sweatshirts, listen to their police radios via earbuds, and speak in calm tones with inviting body language. So if you're a person that's living with a mental illness or mental disorder and you are highly triggered, the last thing you need is to have some aggressive person come at you, because that's just going to make it worse, and it's going to make that person with a mental illness or mental disorder more aggressive, more aggravated. It's just going to escalate. It's going to be ugly. So in 2017, CAHOOTS handled 17% of the police calls in Eugene, according to the journal. So when I quote, when I'm talking to a more liberal group of people, I'll make the argument it's the compassionate thing to do. It's the humane thing to do. When I'm talking to a conservative group, I'll make the argument that it is fiscally conservative thing to do because it's cheaper for us to do this than for the police and firefighters. Oakland plans to launch a pilot program inspired by CAHOOTS. It will see a mental health counselor and an EMT responded to some 911 calls instead of the police. So there's a lady by the name of Ann Jenks from the Coalition for Police Accountability, an organization that advocates for constitutional and transparent policing in Oakland. She says she hasn't encountered any critics of the plan to adopt the CAHOOTS model. It's actually been heartening for those of us who's been doing political organizing for a while. We've been joking that we've never worked on something before where everyone's supporting it. The CAHOOTS program has proven successful in Eugene to treat those struggling with mental health issues, to services that are more appropriate than spending time in police custody, being in jail. So Rebecca KAPLIN, who is a Citywide Council member, she has secured funding for the study. She quotes, "I believe this is a good model to test in Oakland, and I look forward to sharing the results." Already, CAHOOTS is working with a number of different cities, to include Olympia, Washington, Denver, Colorado, New York, Indianapolis, Indiana, Portland, and Roseburg, Oregon, to see how they might be able to implement the non-policing model. With any luck, this approach, which is both more empathetic and more cost-effective, can help to reduce suffering for millions of people. So I believe that this could be, if it's done correctly, a very good thing, instead of, one, with money, a lot of money with having the police and firefighters come out. Two, that the police can focus hopefully on real crime that's going on, right? Three, yes, having mental health experts come out who are more empathetic and understanding and can approach it in a different way, a more calmer way. Their body language is not as aggressive as a police officer or even a firefighter, okay? And that they could help resolve some issues, get some sources, get some resources, put them, if they need to be, put them in a place that could help them, not jail. Put them in a place that can help them get back on track. Make them feel like if they're going to go in that ambulance, that it's not one of those let me throw you down, tie you down, right? Necessarily 1013 you, but help you. Have a therapist there where they can listen and understand and get you help, where you feel where that person that has a mental illness or mental health issue can feel comfortable and say what they need to say and get the help that they need. So thank you guys. I didn't want to take up too much of your time because I have one more thing to do, and I know she probably is like, you said you were going to call me after 5 yesterday. Well, that is my apologies. If you are listening, girl, my fault. I take care of some more business. So with that being said, I invite each and every one of you to come out and join my social media platforms. And let me apologize in advance because I am learning how to do certain things. And so, you know, it might take me a little time to upload everything everywhere, but please be patient with me and thank you in advance. But in between time, you can certainly look on my Facebook, look at the replays, which will be available shortly after. So again, join my social media platforms where I am on Facebook right now. Okay, live right now. You can go to Instagram, Twitter, and my YouTube channel. You can find me at Aisha Speaks Jade. Again, I am on Facebook right here, right now, good people. Instagram, Twitter, and my YouTube channel, Aisha Speaks Jade, which please, thank you in advance, join or subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can hit that thumbnail to subscribe, as well as hit that notification bell to stay in the loop of everything. Next, if you have LinkedIn, I'm on LinkedIn. You can find me at Aisha Jade Speaks. Again, I'm on LinkedIn at Aisha Jade Speaks. So make sure that you do a lot of self-care because it should not be a choice. It should definitely be a priority in your life. Do something for yourself each and every day, even if it's a small thing. Also, give yourself credit for the things that you do. Instead of knocking yourself, saying a lot of negative words, thinking it, speaking it, or doing it, learn to train your mindset or your brain to think, do, and say positive things about yourself. Give yourself credit. And if you can't complete everything in one day, that's okay, people. If you wake up that next day, you can definitely try it again. Know your self-worth, know your value, love on yourself and respect yourself, and let that start internally. Like Nike, just do it. The thing that fears you the most will be the thing that will be the most successful to you. And just know that you're going to go through challenges in life. That's just the reality of it. But those 3 C's that I love so much, catch it, check it, change it, it absolutely can be accomplished. Is it easy? Absolutely not, but it can be accomplished. With that being in mind, peace and blessings be upon you. Enjoy the rest of the day wherever you are at. Have an awesome tomorrow because it will be Monday. Okay? Have an awesome tomorrow on purpose. Peace and blessings be upon each and every one of you. Namaste, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, and Namaste, and Ashe. And make sure that you be good to yourself. Be the best self you can be. Enjoy your evening, and peace out.